Good morning, YouTube. It is Sunday, November 1st, 11 o'clock in the morning. Just a quick update. Seems like I haven't got that much done since the last update, which was ages ago. But a lot of busyness and being on a short budget has prevented some things. And also a lot of thought has gone into just how I want to do each section, especially with the grades and the overpass, underpasses. But I do have some track down finally, and part of the most time-consuming part was the transitions. This right here is two of the transitions where literally there's three bolts. There's a bolt here, there's a bolt underneath of the that little wooden bridge there, and then there's a bolt on the bottom. Those bolts hold the alignment of the two pieces together so that you don't need any transition track. Literally, if you can see it, like those tracks line up pretty near perfectly. These ones you can't really, well, they still actually have the rail joiners in it. I did an experiment to see, and I left the rail joiners in. When I take it apart for the first time, those will be coming out. But come back into focus here. Anyways, that was very time consuming because each piece, the road bed that the track actually sat on, had to be perfectly lined up before I could lay the track down. And I had to figure out a really solid way to glue the track down. And I couldn't really do any more track work until I got the transitions done, because all the other track work, like the positioning of it and the height and everything, all was based off of where it started at each of the transitions. So other than that, since my last update, I've gotten, I had to add another 1/2 inch of blue foam to the top of this layer. So now or actually I think this might be 3/4 of an inch. Yeah, I think it is 3/4 of an inch. I can't remember. It might be 1/2 inch. I don't know, but whatever. But it's a little bit higher. I like it better, which means I needed to extend the grade out. That was a little bit complicated because I am planning to put a turnout in here. And as you know, you don't always like to put turnouts on grades. But it's okay to put turnouts on grades as long as the grade is consistent throughout where the turnout is. You don't, obviously, this is all grade in here. You wouldn't want to put a turnout like right here, like on the transition, where it could, once you start having like some arcing, then you can hit some derailments around your frogs and stuff like that. But I do have some track in this area here. I've been doing more planning, sorting out different tracks. I got some cork in. I got some code 70 rail from Microengineering in, ordered it through Bull Street Station. Also ordered a whole bunch more of these Central Valley turnouts. So I will be doing a video in the very near future, hopefully, about how to build these. I've never built one before, so subscribe and hopefully watch that video if you want to see me go through the trial of error of trying to figure out how to build a curvable switch kit. I have taken them out of the package. I took this one over here out of the package, and basically all it is a tie strip, and you can cut the little black pieces in between the ties, and then you can bend them, and it comes with a really cool detail kit too. So, but that's enough about that. I'll show you the track I got down. This track here is the track that's going to be basically invisible to the rest of the diorama. I know I said in previous videos, but this layout is basically set up like two dioramas. This diorama is going to be a small western town on the Colorado joint line, and it's also going to be dateable because right here where you see this big empty section, I'm going to have a piece of foam laying there, and I'm going to make multiple pieces of foam that will fit in that area, and I'm going to draw a grid on them for the town, and they're going to be all identical. So basically, I'll be able to change the towns out and put in an older town if I want to run steam engines, or a newer town, or an 80s town, or whatever, and just try to date it that way. Hopefully I'll be able to have a lot of different colors in my locomotive roster by doing the joint line, be able to have some Rio Grande, Southern Pacific, BNSF, Santa Fe, and Union Pacific. So, and I used the Kato 28-inch radius curves for the outside transition tracks. I used the Atlas 22-inch radius curves for these inside ones. I'm just saying I really like the Atlas ones for transition tracks because you can set the plastic roadbed down first, and then you can cut the rail second and glue the rail into the roadbed. Also, you don't have to stop, even though the Atlas track is actually lower than the foam roadbed. You don't have to stop and put your rail joiners right here. You can chop the end ties, which would be like these ties here. You can chop the end ties off, and then you can fit, this is actually two separate pieces of track. So if you notice, this piece of track starts here. I just trimmed it so that it fits the angle, and it goes all the way to there. So that's a nice smooth transition to just roll around there. The trains aren't going to even know they're going over a joint. So coming down around here, I did the same thing on this section. I do need to cut this little tunnel portal a little bit bigger. These little the Atlas auto racks, it's high enough, but I want it a little bit higher, and it also is not wide enough on that side. This one here is the complicated one, but it actually turned out pretty simple. I have the Kato track on this side, and on this side I have an Atlas switch. One problem that I ran into was the height difference between, see if I can get it to focus, there you go, the Kato here on the right and the Atlas track on the left. But one thing I found is these two pieces of wood are completely level with each other. And by using the same, this would be the same type of board you would use like for your fascia. And this is like, I think 3/16 Luan plywood from Lowe's. It just worked out where this is exactly the right height. It meets up like perfectly, even though this one here is a little bit lower. This one's a little higher. This one's thinner. This one's thicker. So that meets up perfectly. This is going to be a beautiful transition. And then this track, this switch is actually going to be hidden. You're looking at, this is all this track that you see that I've completed here. I wait for it to get in focus. Is all going to be hidden because this side of the diorama, as you can see, you have all the scenery materials and everything over here, is going to be like a mining town on a branch line. So, and I haven't even made the transition for the branch line yet, but I'm just excited because I'm going to, really soon here, I'm going to have, I'm going to be able to run trains around in a circle. So, for right now, I have the track starting here, goes down, goes all the way around in a circle and comes back around here, goes back up over to that Atlas switch over there. So I have almost my twice around loop completed. I know it seems like it's been a long time, or at least for me it does. This piece of track here, I have to refit that because this is too tight of a radius here. I don't know if you can see, it's kind of kinked right here where it joins the Kato track. Oh, and that's one other problem that I've discovered when you're joining two different kinds of track. It's not just like the height of the track or whatever. Kato track and like Micro Engineering rail has different rail profile. So like these little Atlas rail joiners, they fit nice and tight on the Atlas track, but like, I don't know if you can tell it from the video, but there's like a ton of play in these rail joiners to this Kato track. So I'm probably gonna have to solder it or figure something else out because I can't have that being like that. This is not gonna be, this Atlas track is actually temporary. The rails will probably be permanent, because this part is going to be visible. I'm going to have like it's going to be coming from the other side, from the junction or whatever. There's going to be a cliff here, and then on the bottom of the layout, obviously up here will be like the branch line. On the bottom of the layout, this is still going to be all visible, nice 28-inch radius curves going down, and it's going to meet a tunnel right there about where that steam engine gets connected to that flat car. So, and then this here is going to get, even though I'm using some Atlas track right now, this is going to get Central Valley tie strips underneath of it. I'll probably just leave the rail in, and then just rip the ties out a section at a time, and slide the Central Valley tie strips underneath, or something like that. And then I won't ballast it until I get the Central Valley ties in there. So that's the plan on that. As far as anything else goes, that's about it for now, I guess. Just working on, gonna be working on these turnouts pretty soon, so hopefully stay tuned for a turnout video. I'm gonna be building this turnout first, which is a curved turnout. I don't know, maybe I should build a straight turnout first just for practice. But I have, can't remember where it is, somewhere here. I have a number 7 Central Valley turnout. This is a number 7 Shinohara turnout. So the frog will be the same. But what I'm planning on doing is taking this one, putting it on a piece of cardboard, like upside down, spray painting it, and then that will be my template for the curvature of the 28-24 curved turnout for the Central Valley. And I also actually saved some rail from the Kato track. Saved some rail, so I already have a rail that's already bent to 28-inch radius, so that'll make it a lot easier to get the turnout to stay in place. So, and the only problem, I think I'm going to have to buy some 24-inch radius Kato track, because I don't think I can make a frog with this profile rail and the Atlas 24-inch radius rail, like off of a 24-inch radius piece of snap track like this. If I took the rail out of this piece of track and this piece of track and tried to combine it into a turnout, I don't think that the rail would go together well, just because the rail profiles are so much different. But that'll be coming up pretty soon in the next video, along with, hopefully, as soon as I get the track, at least one strip of track along here, then should maybe have some running videos. I already have the bottom of the layout wired, but I dropped a bunch of feeder wires down as I laid track, and I haven't connected any of the feeder wires to the track bus. So, and that'll be coming up in the next video, in another video too. So thanks for watching. Till next time.